4003. The Soul Eater Emperor's emotions were highly unstable, swinging between moments of calm and frequent bouts of madness. In his crazed state, he rambled endlessly, mixing relevant and irrelevant things, peppered with countless curses. Amusingly, he didn't stick to one language over several hours of ranting. He used at least dozens, including human, common, and other racist tongues. Lin Moyu was able to piece together what had happened. Back then, Wan Xianling had captured the Soul Eater Emperor as an experiment, fusing him with a world spirit. After the fusion succeeded, the Soul Eater Emperor gained intelligence. Wan Xuanling's plan was that, after fusion, the world spirit would become the dominant will, allowing him to control the Soul Eater Emperor. Through the Emperor, he could then control countless Soul Eaters, a terrifying force. But unexpectedly, after the fusion, the Soul Eater Emperor not only gained intelligence but became the dominant will, suppressing the world spirit. The world spirit had empowered the Soul Eater Emperor, but failed to control him. Even at the eternal level, a world spirit was no match for the Soul Eater Emperor. Wan Xianling, however, had a backup. He could detonate the world spirit, severely wounding the Soul Eater Emperor. Later out, Wan Xianling returned gravely injured, and the Soul Eater Emperor seized the chance to devour him. To the Emperor, Wan Xianling was a mortal enemy for capturing him, never realizing his intelligence was a gift from Wan Xianling. At the last moment, Wan Xianling self-destructed and detonated the fused world spirit. The resulting power gravely wounded the Soul Eater Emperor not just physically, but to his very core. His strength plummeted to the Tao Lord level, and he fell into a deep sleep. He didn't know how many millennia passed before he awoke when the human sovereign arrived. He searched for a way out, but with the gate closed, he was trapped. Many more years passed until the Lord of Hell opened the gate, and he finally escaped. Outside, he found the world's rules had changed and fell into slumber again. But it wasn't true sleep he needed to feed, as Wan Xuanling's attack had left his power and intelligence unstable. Without feeding, he would revert to mindlessness and his strength would continue to drop. So he began destroying worlds and devouring living beings. After consuming many, he needed time to digest, so he slept again. In this cycle of waking and sleeping, he gradually adapted to the new rules. The countless worlds and lives he devoured stabilized his power and brought more thoughts, what he called increased wisdom. He realized this couldn't go on forever. If one day all worlds were eaten, he'd be finished. Devouring beings was only a stopgap. Then he thought of spirit nurturing wood. The world spirit that was detonated hadn't been completely destroyed using spirit nurturing wood. He could regenerate it. If the world spirit recovered, so would he. Such was the Soul Eater Emperor's story. Lin Moyu wasn't sure whether to pity him. Once, he'd been a carefree Soul Eater Emperor, mindless but supreme. But he was captured by Wan Xianling, and gaining intelligence may never have been his wish. After so many years, though, none of it mattered now. The Myriad Spirits Pavilion was empty. The world had changed. Lin Moyu asked,
"Do you know the specifics of what happened back then?"
The Soul Eater Emperor, still half crazed, replied,
"Know what? I know nothing. They're all dead. All dead. All deserve to die."
Clearly, nothing more could be learned. Those events were buried by time. He didn't even understand what the Myriad Spirits Pavilion was, so there was no point probing further. Now that Lin Moyu had obtained the heaven-covering stone and immortal jade, his plan was more than half complete. He just needed to return and carry it out. The immediate issue was how to deal with the Soul Eater Emperor. He had two options. Seal it here, difficult, since the Emperor could ignore ordinary formations. If the Spirit Treasure Hall were intact, he could just close the door, but now that wasn't possible, or kill it. But killing it wasn't easy. World-burning fire would take at least 100 years to refine it, maybe longer. Lin Moyu didn't want to waste so much time, and letting it live was risky. If someone opened the gate in the future, it might escape and threaten all worlds again. How could he destroy it quickly? Lin Moyu thought of one possibility. Spirit Annihilation Art. The only offensive art in the Myriad Spirits' secret art. Spirit Annihilation targets world spirits, not soul eaters. But this Soul Eater Emperor had fused with a world spirit, making it his core. When Wan Xianling detonated the spirit, it wasn't fully destroyed, some remained, protected by the Soul Eater's power. If Lin Moyu could erase the world spirit, he'd erase the Emperor's core. Even if it didn't die, it would at least fall into slumber or lose intelligence and revert to mindlessness.
If this works, it's a good solution.
Lin Moyu thought. But first, he needed to shatter the Soul Eater Emperor to make it easier to use the Spirit Annihilation art. His realm was still low, and he'd just learned the Myriad Spirit's secret art. He wasn't sure how effective it would be. Breaking the Emperor into fragments would weaken it and enhance the art's effect. Soul Eaters are hard to kill. Even the Soul Eater King's avatar, when smashed to dust, couldn't revive. Even world-burning fire struggled to fully destroy one. Now, facing the Soul Eater Emperor, Lin Moyu had no guarantee.
Great Tao world-ending palm.
After another rebirth, Lin Moyu unleashed his full power, smashing the Emperor into fragments, then pounding the pieces into powder. Only when it could be crushed no further did he check the world-burning fire's effect. As expected, refining was slow. It would take at least 100 years, maybe more. Though Lin Moyu could endure, he didn't want to waste that much time if there was another way. He tried using the power of death to corrode it, but his realm wasn't high enough. The effect was even worse than the world-burning fire. Taking a deep breath, after another rebirth, a purple light flared. Spirit Annihilation Art, Chapter 4004, Made a Mistake. Purple light swirled as an indescribable ancient aura emanated from Lin Moyu's fingertips. Somewhere in the world, a primordial power was stirred so ancient that Lin Moyu felt as if he were in another universe. This ancient force emerged from a hidden corner of the cosmos, gathered at his fingertip, and then exploded into a ball of light, illuminating the entire Spirit Treasure Hall. Bang! Lin Moyu heard a shattering sound, as if something had been annihilated. Within the Soul Eater Emperor's dust, something seemed to have vanished, and a strange aura began to spread. Lin Moyu recognized it. It was pure Soul Eater aura, without any impurities, just like what he'd seen before, only stronger and of a higher level. At the same time, the effect of the world-burning fire weakened, almost disappearing. Lin Moyu's expression changed. He realized something had gone wrong. Things hadn't developed as he'd expected. The Spirit Annihilation art hadn't killed the Soul Eater Emperor. Instead, it had restored the Soul Eater Emperor's original self. The fusion with the world spirit had brought intelligence and made him controllable. That's why when Xianling hadn't completely destroyed the world spirit, he couldn't kill the Soul Eater Emperor. So he used the world spirit to restrain him. Now, with the world spirit destroyed, the Soul Eater Emperor was gravely wounded but not dead, and would recover in a short time. Once restored, he would be a complete Soul Eater Emperor, far stronger than a Soul Eater King, and someone Lin Moyu could not kill. If this had happened in the real world, the Candle Dragon would almost certainly have appeared. The Candle Dragon might not be able to kill him either, but at least could exile or expel him from this world. It was also possible that the world's rules would expel him. But here, neither the Candle Dragon nor the world's rules could reach, so the Soul Eater Emperor could exist freely. Without intelligence, the Soul Eater Emperor would kill all living beings he saw. Once he fully recovered, Lin Moyu didn't hesitate. With a wave of his hand, he swept up all the remaining bottles and boxes in the Spirit Treasure Hall, even if they were empty, since the materials themselves were treasures. Some bottles still had contents. He'd study them later. He also had his undead servants collect all the core fragments of the Spirit Treasure Hall and throw them into a box. While doing this, Lin Moyu kept using the world-ending palm to smash the Soul Eater Emperor's body to dust, delaying its recovery. But the palm's effect was weakening. His power wasn't strong enough. In less than 2 seconds, he finished everything, turned into a stream of light, and shot out of the Spirit Treasure Hall without looking back. Following his original path, he rushed out of the Spirit Treasure Road and saw Old Road standing on his sign, as if waiting for him. Old Road shouted,
That thing got into the Spirit Treasure Hall. You ran into it, right?
Lin Moyu replied,
It's still in the Spirit Treasure Hall. I can't kill it. It'll probably come out soon.
Old Road said,
It can't get out.
He pointed at the spirit treasure road and chanted.
Seal.
Immediately, thick mist rose along the spirit treasure road, which vanished, sealed away by an invisible force. Lin Moyu looked at Old Road in surprise. He hadn't expected this move. Old Road looked a bit smug.
I'm not just a sign. I'm also the manager of the spirit roads. I have the authority to seal them.
Lin Moyu admitted he'd underestimated him.
So it can't get out now?
Old Road replied.
Not for now, but...
Before he could finish, a sharp scream came from deep within the battle spirit road, piercing the soul. Lin Moyu instinctively turned and saw a huge shadow in the distance. Old Road continued.
But I can only seal one road at a time. There's something waking up in the battle spirit hall, trying to get out. Can you deal with it?
Lin Moyu was speechless.
Do you really think I can beat it?
Old Road looked him over and said uncertainly.
You should be able to. That thing isn't as scary as the one in the spirit treasure hall. At least you can kill it. The one in the spirit treasure hall is almost impossible to kill.
Lin Moyu agreed.
The Soul Eater Emperor really is hard to kill. But what's the level of the thing in the battle spirit hall?
Old Road looked at Lin Moyu.
Same realm as you, but a bit stronger.
So, the same as a Tao Lord. But within Tao Lords, there were ordinary ones, great Tao Lords, and Eternals. A big difference. If it was stronger, it was at least a great Tao Lord, maybe even an Eternal, but not one whose Tao had entered the Return to Origin land, so it wouldn't be unkillable. Old Road was right, there was a chance to kill it, and it was the lesser evil. Sealing the Spirit Treasure Road was the right choice. Lin Moyu said.
All right, I'll try. What exactly is it?
Old Road replied.
If I remember correctly, it's a python pun.
Python pung? Lin Moyu had never heard of it. Old Road explained.
A python ping is a type of chaos beast, not the most powerful kind. There used to be a lot in the Battle Spirit Hall. Disciples used them for practice. The hall is abandoned now, but before that, most python pings died. I'm surprised one survived. It must have been sleeping all this time and woke up because of the commotion in the Spirit Treasure Hall.
Lin Moyu asked.
What if I don't kill it?
Old Road replied.
Python pings are chaos beasts with a destructive instinct. Their attacks can turn everything to chaos, which they then absorb to strengthen themselves. It's not strong now, but if it destroys enough, it'll grow stronger and could eventually destroy the entire Myriad Spirits Pavilion.
Lin Moyu realized this was serious compared to the Soul Eater Emperor. The Python Pong might be even more destructive. Now that he'd mastered the Myriad Spirit's secret art, heard the pavilion's lecture, and obtained the heaven-covering stone and immortal jade, he was tied by cause and effect to the Myriad Spirits Pavilion. With the pavilion in danger, he felt obligated to help. Besides, he might return someday, and if the Python Pong grew stronger, it could threaten him then. After weighing the pros and cons, Lin Moyu said quietly,
All right, I'll take care of it.
Old Road sighed.
Do your best. If it can't be done, then so be it.
Lin Moyu understood Python Pungs could destroy anything, including Old Road. In the past, they were just practice targets for disciples, but now one could destroy the entire pavilion. Lin Moyu entered the Battle Spirit Road, heading for the Battle Spirit Hall. He'd already made one mistake with the Soul Eater Emperor. He couldn't afford another. At the same time, he pondered how to truly kill the Soul Eater Emperor for good. 4005. Chapter 4005. Not Mom. Call me Father. The Battle Spirit Road wasn't long. Lin Moyu quickly reached its end and saw the Battle Spirit Hall. Each Spirit Road ended with an immortal hall, each one different. The Spirit Treasure Hall was itself a magical artifact, but the Battle Spirit Hall was not. In fact, it wasn't a single hall, but a group of massive halls occupying a vast area. Lin Moyu sensed that the space here was unusual, likely expanded many times by special means. Though there were hundreds of halls, from the outside they took up about as much space as the Spirit Treasure Hall.
There's the aura of the Soul Eater Emperor here.
Lin Moyu sharply sensed the lingering presence of the Soul Eater Emperor clearly. It had stayed here for many years. There were also other auras, each different. Some fierce, some cold, some wild. From these, Lin Moyu could distinguish various chaos beasts. Old Road had said many such beasts were once kept here for the pavilion's disciples to practice on. Each battle spirit hall was both a prison and an arena. All the chaos beasts here had been killed long ago except for one survivor, who had endured until now. The Python Peng's sharp cry sounded again. Up close, the soul-shaking force of its call was even stronger. Lin Moyu could clearly sense the Python Peng's aura. It was powerful, not weaker than the human sovereign, though it lacked his undying trait. After evaluating his own abilities, Lin Moyu believed he had a chance to kill it. A thunderous crash echoed from one of the halls. The Python Peng was ramming the hall. Though not a magical artifact, the Battle Spirit Hall was made of extremely tough material and could withstand the beast's repeated assaults for a while longer. Lin Moyu followed the sound to the hall's main gate. Behind it, the Python Peng was battering the door, making the entire hall tremble and crack. If this continued for another 10 days or so, it would surely break out. Billions of undead servants appeared in the air. Lin Moyu didn't dare be careless against such a foe and prepared thoroughly. He filled the entire space above and below the hall, even the Battle Spirit Road, with undead servants. If the space allowed, he would have summoned even more. The undead servants weren't expected to kill the Python Peng, just to block its escape. Several elemental liches appeared at his side space: sword, true fire, blood, and reverse Dao liches all ready for battle. Lin Moyu even brought out ancestral water, which he hadn't used in ages, since this enemy was different. Taking a deep breath, Lin Moyu gave the order.
Go!
The undead servants removed the giant lock from the hall's gate and shoved it open. The gate opened inward and was locked from the outside, designed to prevent anything inside from escaping. As the gate opened, Lin Moyu saw the Python Peng. It was about 100 meters long, with a python's body and rock's wings, its head also like a rock's. Its wingspan was several hundred meters, longer than its body.
This chaos beast is a bit small.
Lin Moyu thought. For a so-called giant beast, it wasn't very big. Even some powerful spirit beasts on the origin continent were hundreds of meters long, with the largest reaching 1,000,000 meters. Perhaps there was a special formation in the hall limiting its size. The undead servants and elemental liches didn't attack. Lin Moyu stood at the front, locking eyes with the Python Peng. For a moment, the two simply stared at each other. Suddenly, the beast called out, not sharply, but with a touch of affection. The sound entered Lin Moyu's soul and turned into two words.
Mama!
Lin Moyu nearly fell from the sky in shock. The Python Peng had called him
Mama!
A chaos beast powerful enough to destroy worlds was calling him
Mama!
The beast flew toward Lin Moyu, ignoring the undead and elemental liches. Sensing no danger, Lin Moyu told his servants not to attack. The Python Peng came up and licked Lin Moyu from head to toe with its huge tongue, drenching him in saliva. Still, Lin Moyu didn't react. After licking, the Python Peng seemed delighted and called out again.
Mama!
This time, Lin Moyu responded with his soul.
Can you make yourself a bit smaller?
Soul-to-soul communication required no language. Any intelligent being could do it. The Python Peng didn't understand at first, but after Lin Moyu gestured, it shrank down to about 10 meters, then called out again.
Mama!
This time, its tone seemed to ask.
Did I do it right?
Lin Moyu replied.
That's right, but don't call me Mama, call me Father.
After some explanation and effort, he finally taught the Python Peng to call him Father. The Python Peng happily called out.
Father.
Again and again, clearly delighted. Lin Moyu entered the Battle Spirit Hall, which resembled a gladiator arena with a huge battle area. The formations that once controlled the arena were now ruined. This was where the pavilion's disciples had practiced on chaos beasts. Searching the hall, Lin Moyu found a small piece of eggshell in a corner. Most of it had been eaten after the Python Peng hatched, leaving only a few fragments. From this, Lin Moyu deduced the beast's origins and why it survived. When all the other chaos beasts were killed, This one was still an egg and survived by chance. After countless years, it hatched, found the pavilion deserted, and slept until now when Lin Moyu became the first person it saw. Thus, Lin Moyu became its closest kin. Such a powerful chaos beast. Yet with no inherited bloodline, this surprised Lin Moyu. But he was pleased. He had gained a powerful new companion. 2006. This counts as invasion, right? Chaos beasts are incredibly powerful. After a friendly exchange with the Python Pong, Lin Moyu realized this creature was still young, only recently hatched, and far from fully grown. Although it lacked bloodline memory, the Python Pong seemed to know that its growth would take hundreds of millions of years. It had only been alive for a few tens of millions of years so far. Even so, it was already stronger than a great Tao Lord and not much weaker than an eternal being. It could continue to grow stronger without doing anything, and if it devoured things, it would grow even faster. At this point, Lin Moyu understood that Old Road's worries were unnecessary. The Python Pong in Old Road's memory was one of the powerful adults, not this little one calling Lin Moyu.
Father.
Currently, it didn't have the ability to turn everything into chaos. Only lower-level materials could be chaotified and then devoured. As its strength increased, it would be able to chaotify stronger things. This was a gradual process, not something that happened overnight. Otherwise, the Battle Spirit Hall would have been gone long ago. At least for now, the little Python Pong couldn't chaotify it. Lin Moyu took out some lower-grade materials and let the Python Pong try to chaotify them. The beast was delighted this was food brought by its
Father,
making it even more reliant on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu observed the entire chaotification process. The Python Pong spat out a breath similar to Dragon's breath, filled with chaotic energy. This energy was very similar to the chaotic energy in the Great Thousand World, but the Python Peng's was more aggressive and active. The materials Lin Moyu provided were rapidly broken down, not melted or rotted, but decomposed into their most primitive state. All their attributes were stripped away, leaving only the rawest form. Even if Lin Moyu tried to refine these powders, he'd get nothing useful. Their original properties as crafting materials were completely gone. Next, the powders became disordered and chaotic, colliding and entangling, evolving into new attributes. Each grain seemed to become a new material with its own properties. As they collided, bursts of power erupted, and in the process, the materials annihilated each other and turned into chaotic energy. The Python Pong inhaled, sucking up the chaotic energy and finishing its meal. Apparently satisfied, it let out a happy laugh and affectionately rubbed its huge head against Lin Moyu. Though its head was bigger than Lin Moyu's whole body, it acted like a child. Lin Moyu chuckled.
From now on, I'll call you Xiaopeng.
Since the name,
Little Python,
was already taken, he chose
Xiaopeng.
for this one. He realized his naming talent was as extreme as his talent for divine runes, either extremely weak or extremely strong. But that didn't matter. Xiaopeng was clearly delighted with the new name. Lin Moyu put away his undead servants and wandered through the battle spirit halls with Xiaopeng. These halls were once training grounds for the pavilion's disciples, where they would command world spirits to battle chaos beasts. The chaos beasts captured here varied in strength, and the lingering auras of the strongest could still be sensed, highlighting the pavilion's former might. Lin Moyu thought that if a truly powerful chaos beast appeared in the real world, even the eternal beings would have a headache. As he strolled through the halls, he noticed that some were not just arenas but also places for cultivation, with secret chambers for closed-door training. Some of these chambers still contained items left behind by disciples who didn't have time to take them during the Great War, suggesting the conflict had erupted suddenly. Among the items Lin Moyu found were a heaven-covering stone and a bottle of spirit-nurturing pills. The pills, stored in a fine bottle, had retained over 70% of their potency despite the passage of countless years. After touring the battle spirit halls, Lin Moyu rode Xiaopeng back to Old Road at the signpost. Old Road looked at Lin Moyu, then at Xiaopeng, speechless.
How did you do that?
Lin Moyu just laughed.
That's not important, Senior. I'd like to check out the Spirit Nurturing Road and Spirit Cultivating Road, then take a look at the Immortal Halls in the back.
Old Road didn't object, only reminding him,
The spirit cultivating road is just ruins now, but be careful on the spirit nurturing road space there is fractured, and some places might lead to unknown realms.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I'll be careful.
He went to the spirit cultivating road first and found the spirit cultivating hall at the end. It was enormous, as big as 10 spirit treasure halls, and its interior space had also been specially expanded. Inside were pools once used to nurture world spirits, now dried up but clearly once bustling with activity. In the deepest part of the hall, Lin Moyu found a withered, decayed tree, the spirit nurturing tree. The spirit nurturing with the Soul Eater Emperor wanted came from this tree, as did the pool's core essence.
What a pity!
Lin Moyu sighed, then collected the entire spirit nurturing tree. He wanted to see if he could revive it. If successful, he'd have an endless supply of spirit nurturing wood, a huge benefit for his great thousand world and science Tao world. Leaving the spirit cultivating road, he entered the spirit nurturing road and soon reached the end. The spirit nurturing hall looked ordinary, not a magical artifact like the spirit treasure hall, and much smaller than the spirit cultivating hall. But it was unique. Cracks constantly appeared and healed in the surrounding void, releasing powerful auras. Lin Moyu sensed these cracks connected to unknown realms. Inside, he found a ruined formation, long neglected and now chaotic and useless. The formation was complex, built with artifact-like components and empowered by runes. Lin Moyu studied it and deduced its purpose.
This formation seems designed to open spatial channels to extremely distant places. Pavilion disciples used it to travel to unknown realms, find suitable worlds, nurture world spirits, and bring entire worlds back. This counts as invasion, doesn't it?
4007. Did you find anything good? From the Spirit Nurturing Hall, Lin Moyu could see that the Myriad Spirits Pavilion had once been extremely domineering. When disciples went out through the Spirit Nurturing Hall to other realms, they didn't negotiate, they simply took the worlds they wanted. Some worlds resisted, but against the overwhelming power of the pavilion's disciples, resistance was meaningless. Whether you agreed or not, if they set their sights on your world, they would take it. The disciples of the Myriad Spirits Pavilion didn't seem to care about cause and effect.
This was an era where the strong ruled.
Lin Moyu realized, though he also knew that every era was more or less the same. Even though the formation was now in ruins, there was still much to learn from it. Lin Moyu recorded its structure, thinking he might replicate it in the future. As he studied further, he discovered that the formation's purpose wasn't just teleportation, it also had a crucial function for searching and locating. With it, one could directly pinpoint a world and then teleport there. Whether a world was suitable would be decided by the pavilion's disciples, but this greatly increased efficiency, no more aimless searching. The constantly shattering space outside the Spirit Nurturing Hall was a side effect of the formation. It repeatedly tore space, and after enough repetitions, some areas could no longer heal, leaving behind chaotic spatial tunnels that eternally linked different places. No one could know what lay beyond a given spatial rift. Lin Moyu, of course, wasn't foolish enough to try them. He carefully avoided the unstable spatial tunnels and left the Spirit Nurturing Hall. He had now traversed all 4 spirit roads, which represented the entire process of cultivating a disciple in the Myriad Spirits Pavilion. Choosing a world spirit, gathering treasures, nurturing the world spirit, and then training in battle against chaos beasts to gain combat experience. The system was comprehensive, covering every step from start to finish. After greeting Old Road and getting directions, Lin Moyu rode Xiao Peng up into the sky toward the distant group of immortal halls. This was where the pavilion's disciples once lived. According to Old Road, there used to be immortal light that would carry you from the spirit roads to your residence. But now that was gone, he had to fly himself. Fortunately, the defensive formations around the halls had decayed with time and didn't block Lin Moyu's approach. Time is a terrifying force, very few things can withstand it. Even those at the Great Tao realm can live forever, but only if no disaster befalls them. Eternal beings can be undying, but only if their Great Tao is not destroyed. Over endless years, anything can happen, not just to Taos, but even to the heavens and earth themselves. When the world is destroyed, so-called eternal life becomes a joke. As for the final step, Lin Moyu used to think that once an eternal being took the last step, they would transcend and become truly immortal. But now he saw it wasn't so simple. The myriad spirits pavilion must have had such beings. But where were they now? If they were still alive, why hadn't they returned? But could such beings really die so easily? He wasn't sure. Lost in thought, Lin Moyu passed through dozens of dormant formations and entered the area of the immortal halls. Only by entering could he see their true state. From afar, they looked grand and magnificent, but up close, many were badly damaged.
The myriad spirits pavilion never feared battle. If you want war, then war.
A majestic voice suddenly rang out. Lin Moyu saw a terrifying figure standing between heaven and earth above the halls, as if declaring something to the universe. His fighting spirit soared, and as his voice fell, countless disciples flew out, each wielding a world spirit, all howling to the sky.
Battle!
The shout echoed as one, their fighting spirit reaching its peak. The terrifying figure waved his hand, and the entire group of immortal halls rose from the ground. His voice rang out again.
All disciples, follow me into battle.
Everyone replied in unison.
To fight alongside the pavilion master is our honor. We will die before we retreat.
Never retreat, even unto death. Such fighting spirit was rare. They stood atop their worlds and the immortal halls, charging into the sky with the pavilion master. A great battle erupted beyond the heavens. The scene shifted, and the ruined halls flew back from the void. But the pavilion master and countless disciples were gone. The halls returned to their place, and as the last of their power faded, they turned from artifacts into ordinary structures.
What kind of enemy could do this?
Lin Moyu wondered. He didn't know how strong the pavilion master was, but it was certainly beyond eternal, yet even he was defeated. The enemy must have been unimaginably terrifying. The image of the green-robed old man came to Lin Moyu's mind. Perhaps the pavilion master's mysterious enemy was someone like him. As Lin Moyu approached the halls, he could still sense lingering fighting spirit. As someone who had fought his way here, he felt the deathly resolve within it. The disciples must have known how strong their enemy was and went to battle determined to die, leaving behind this will. These halls were once the disciples' homes, and now Lin Moyu was essentially rummaging through someone else's house for valuables. The battle had come suddenly, and the disciples had left with the resolve to die, so there must be things they hadn't taken. What may have been ordinary to them could be treasures to Lin Moyu. After all, they were all dead. Leaving these things to rot would be a waste. Patiently, Lin Moyu searched hall after hall, like a treasure hunt. As he expected, he found a few things, though not many. Most items had lost their potency to time, but special materials like heaven-covering stones and immortal jades had survived. After his search, he had gained 9 more heaven-covering stones, 8 immortal jades, and over a dozen spirit-nurturing woods. With what he'd found earlier, he now had about 30 of each, more than enough. Unknowingly, Lin Moyu reached the deepest part of the halls, where several stood out for their greater size and splendor. These must have belonged to the pavilion's higher-ups. The largest, most magnificent hall was likely the pavilion master's, but it was also the most damaged, half-collapsed. Lin Moyu planned to search it later. Higher-ups' possessions might be even better, while disciples' things were relatively mundane. Just then, a voice called out,
Young friend, did you find anything good?
Lin Moyu's hair stood on end. He looked up to see the pavilion master himself, smiling at him. Even Lin Moyu, thick-skinned as he was, felt a little embarrassed at being caught.
Stealing.
In someone else's house. He bowed slightly and said,
Lin Moyu greets Senior.
4008. A peculiar era of the Great Tao. The pavilion master of the myriad spirits pavilion smiled gently.
So it's little friend Lin. I am Wan Zhongling. Greetings.
Wan Zhongling, Wan Xianling, their names are so similar. Are they related? Wan Zhongling seemed to notice Lin Moyu's doubt.
No need to guess, little friend Lin. Wan Xianling is my younger brother. I am the elder.
So that's it. Lin Moyu suddenly realized that Wan Zhongling seemed to know everything that had happened since he entered the Myriad Spirits Pavilion. Wan Zhongling continued,
This Myriad Spirits Pavilion was founded by me. Though my true body has already gone on to reincarnation and I don't know where I am now, this remnant soul of mine can still observe what happens in the pavilion. I saw everything you did and how you reacted when facing the Soul Eater Emperor.
Lin Moyu smiled wryly.
I made a mistake, Senior. I ruined Senior Wan Xuanling's arrangements and let the Soul Eater Emperor reappear.
Though this was only a remnant soul, Lin Moyu knew this being could easily kill him. The pavilion may have been destroyed by war, but who knows what trump cards remain. He decided to remain respectful. Wan Zhongling shook his head.
It's a small matter. I never agreed with Xuanling's plan anyway. The Soul Eater Emperor is hard to kill or destroy, but fortunately, without intelligence, he won't cause trouble if left alone. But I can't say Xianling was wrong. He wanted to use the Soul Eater Emperor to control the Soul Eaters and resist a great enemy, but his plan failed. And that great enemy was not something the Soul Eater Emperor could resist.
Lin Moyu understood. If the Soul Eater Emperor could be captured, he wasn't strong enough. At that level, numbers don't matter, just like Lin Moyu's billions of undead servants would still fail if sent against the human sovereign. Knowing the enemy was that powerful, Lin Moyu and Wan Zhongling both recognized that controlling the Soul Eater Emperor was pointless. Lin Moyu said,
Now the Soul Eater Emperor is sealed in the Spirit Treasure Hall by Senior Old Road, but I don't know how long that will last.
Wan Zhongling replied,
It should hold for hundreds of thousands of years. But even if it doesn't, there's a solution.
Lin Moyu was curious.
The Soul Eater Emperor can't be killed. How do you solve it?
Wan Zhongling smiled.
It's simple. Just lure him to the Spirit Nurturing Hall. The spatial channel that will send him elsewhere.
If he can't be killed, just banish him. As for where he'd go, Wan Zhongling didn't seem to care. Lin Moyu, however, was concerned. What if banishing him sent him to the real world? That would be a disaster. Even if the Candle Dragon intervened, it might not be enough. He asked,
Where does the Spirit Nurturing Hall spatial channel lead?
Wan Zhongling looked at him.
Do you really want to know, little friend Lin?
Lin Moyu nodded.
I'm very curious.
Wan Zhongling didn't answer, but asked in return,
Do you also want to know who our enemy was?
Lin Moyu replied,
I am curious, but I know my limits. I won't ask about things I shouldn't know.
Wan Zhongling's smile grew.
You're a clever child.
People need curiosity, or they can't explore the unknown, but too much curiosity can bring disaster. Lin Moyu understood this balance. Some things weren't for him to know yet. He smiled.
You can tell me what you think I should hear, as long as it doesn't involve cause and effect.
Wan Zhongling said,
There's nothing that can't be said. This matter has long been buried by time. Whether I say it or not doesn't matter. But I know the whole story best. You mentioned cause and effect. If only we had understood it sooner, things wouldn't have ended like this.
Lin Moyu was startled. Such a powerful being didn't understand cause and effect? Even he did. Wan Zhongling sighed.
Don't be surprised. Our cultivation environment was special. Each great Tao was isolated, and the heavenly secrets were obscured, so we couldn't see or understand cause and effect. At my level, I knew there was a Tao of cause and effect, but many cultivated their whole lives without ever knowing it existed.
Lin Moyu was truly shocked. What kind of era was that, where Daos were isolated and cultivators didn't even know other Daos existed? He quickly realized the problem. If that was so, how could there be so many powerful beings? He'd always thought the Myriad Spirits Pavilion was incredibly strong, far more so than his own world, with millions of disciples, most at the Great Tao realm and some as strong as Tao Lords or even Eternals. Wan Zhongling saw his confusion.
Our place was special. You saw many disciples, all geniuses, but that was a result of the Tao's being isolated. The Tao cultivated by the Myriad Spirits Pavilion illuminated this region, and other Taos couldn't reach it. With Tao power concentrated, geniuses flourished here. That's why we had so many. I once calculated that in this region, almost 1 in 100 people was a genius.
That's possible? One Tao illuminating a region, producing countless geniuses suited to that Tao. If 1 in 100 is a genius, does the word even mean anything? If the Myriad Spirits Pavilion's Tao was like this, so were the others. That meant there were endless geniuses. But Lin Moyu also saw the flaw.
If that's so, you can't learn from others' strengths or discard weaknesses. It would be hard to reach the true peak.
Wan Zhongling nodded.
Exactly. That's why, out of millions of disciples, only I reached the summit. Even I couldn't go further. So I tried to find a solution, for myself and for the millions of disciples. I set up the 4 spirit roads, had formations built, and sent disciples to other domains to nurture world spirits and experience other Taos. But it didn't work.
Wan Zhongling finally got to the point the 4 spirit roads were his idea. The formations he arranged led to other domains. But what were those domains? Lin Moyu didn't know, but guessed they were distant places. Wan Zhongling's idea was good, but it failed. The worlds brought back quickly lost their unique traits under the influence of the pavilion's Tao. Again and again, he couldn't find a solution. Lin Moyu asked,
What are these other domains?
Wan Zhongling replied,
Other domains are just other domains. I don't know exactly. It was my decision, but it led to the pavilion's downfall and even the destruction of this entire domain.
4009. The connection between domains. In the end, Wan Zhongling began recounting some of the past events that had happened countless years ago. He believed that his own actions had doomed both the Myriad Spirits Pavilion and the entire domain. Through the Spirit Nurturing Road, channels to other domains were repeatedly opened. Disciples of the Myriad Spirits Pavilion constantly sought out suitable worlds to nurture world spirits, and regardless of whether those worlds agreed, the disciples would forcibly bring them back to become their own. This behavior was no different from robbery, and in the process they accumulated vast amounts of karmic debt. But the disciples of the pavilion knew nothing of karma and didn't care. There were also powerful members who would capture large numbers of chaos beasts, placing suitable ones in the Battle Spirit Hall for disciples to use as training opponents. Every year, the number of chaos beasts that died in the pavilion was staggering, further adding to the karmic burden. Perhaps the accumulated karma became too great, and one day it erupted. Once, the formation on the Spirit Nurturing Road opened a channel to the Suishing Domain, a place teeming with powerful beasts, even stronger than chaos beasts. These beasts were highly organized, like an army. The disciple who entered was killed instantly, and the beasts traced the connection back to the pavilion. The formation in the Battle Spirit Hall wasn't made by the pavilion, so it couldn't be closed in time. Wan Zhongling happened to be in seclusion, and by the time he realized what was happening, it was too late. He could only change the formation's coordinates, sending the invading beasts to the chaos outside the world. A massive war broke out. The Myriad Spirits Pavilion fought back, but the beasts were too strong and the pavilion lost. All the factions in the domain joined the battle, resulting in a war that engulfed the entire domain. But in the end, Wan Zhongling sighed.
We lost. The domain was nearly destroyed. But the beasts didn't fare well either. Our strongest stormed into their domain and caused havoc. In the end, we completely severed the connection between the domains, so they could never find us again.
Lin Moyu said,
So the beasts came from another domain. I thought they were chaos beasts.
Wan Zhongling shook his head.
Chaos beasts are strong, but they aren't organized. Most act alone, and even in groups, their numbers are small and manageable. In fact, the Soul Eater Emperor is even harder to deal with than chaos beasts.
Lin Moyu agreed a Soul Eater Emperor that can't be killed is indeed troublesome. He asked,
What realm does one need to be in to kill a Soul Eater Emperor?
Wan Zhongling shook his head.
It's not a matter of realm. In terms of realm, the pavilion's hall masters were all stronger than the Soul Eater Emperor, but killing him is nearly impossible. You should know the origin of the Soul Eaters. They are born from the impurities of a domain. The Soul Eater Emperor is the impurity of impurities, the essence of essence, reaching the extreme and triggering a reversal of the Great Tao, resulting in this strange being. In short, as long as the domain exists, the Soul Eater Emperor cannot die. To kill him, you'd have to destroy the entire domain.
No wonder Wan Shenling could capture the Soul Eater Emperor but not kill him, and even tried to use him to control other Soul Eaters. Lin Moyu asked,
What realm are you and the other Hall Masters?
Wan Zhongling looked at Lin Moyu.
Realms have different names in different eras and domains. What do you call your current realm?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
Let me show you.
In front of Wan Zhongling, he released his origin aura. Since the Pavilion Master already knew everything he'd done, there was nothing to hide.
I'm a Tao Lord now, then there's Great Tao Lord, then Eternal.
He raised his aura step by step, demonstrating each realm he'd experienced. After reaching the Eternal level, he said,
To me, these three are all Tao Lord realms, just different stages: low, middle, high. And then there's this realm.
Lin Moyu pushed his aura beyond Eternal, stepping into another realm.
I don't know what this is called, but in my domain, the world can't contain me and will expel me. But here, no one expels me, only my body and soul can't withstand it.
After 3 seconds, his body and soul collapsed, and he was reborn in purple light. Wan Zhongling nodded.
What you call the Tao Lord realm, we call the Divine Spirit realm, with low, middle, and high stages matching your 3 Tao Lord levels.
Lin Moyu was correct. Great Tao Lord and Eternal are just stages of Tao Lord. Wan Zhongling continued.
As for the realm you reached at the end, we call it the Saint Spirit realm. But from your appearance, you haven't fully entered it, just touched it with a secret art.
Lin Moyu nodded.
That's right.
He wondered why Wan Zhongling didn't recognize his origin arts and instead called them secret arts.
Does this domain not have origin arts?
He thought but didn't ask. He now knew that what he called the next realm, Wan Zhongling called the Saint Spirit realm, though he didn't know its name in his own world. Wan Zhongling said,
In our domain, the Saint Spirit realm is the highest. I am at the middle stage. The Hall Masters are at the early stage, and the Soul Eater Emperor is also at the early stage, just relatively weak. You said the domain can't contain the Saint Spirit realm. That's possible. I've seen domains that can't. You'll have to find out why yourself. As a remnant soul, I can't help. But I believe you'll find the root of the problem and truly enter the Saint Spirit realm.
Lin Moyu said,
I'll look into it. I've obtained the complete Myriad Spirit's secret art here and am half a successor to the Pavilion. If possible, I'll pass on the art and revive the Pavilion's legacy.
Wan Zhongling seemed to have been waiting for this and smiled broadly.
Thank you, little friend. Any other questions? As a remnant soul, this is all I can do.
Lin Moyu said,
I'd like to know the detailed uses of the heaven-covering stone, immortal jade, and spirit-nurturing wood.
Wan Zhongling answered in detail. The heaven-covering stone and immortal jade were indeed excellent items, only found in such special environments. Lin Moyu was curious why items from other domains could be used in his own, and why the gate was here. Was there a connection between the two domains? 4010. Chapter 4010 Return. Wan Zhongling, this remnant soul from countless years ago, had once reached a realm beyond eternity. In their terminology, this was called the Saint Spirit realm, a step beyond eternity, the final step. By their naming, Lin Moyu realized that the realm he reached through origin arts could be called
Half-step Saint Spirit.
Just barely touching the threshold of the Saint Spirit realm, yet already rejected by the world. What he called the
world
was also what Wan Zhongling called a
domain.
Two different worlds, different terms, but the same concept. Lin Moyu translated Wan Zhongling's explanations into terms he could understand. It seemed that, while his own world didn't have as many geniuses as the Myriad Spirits Pavilion, the Taoists in his world were not isolated from each other. Cultivators could study multiple Taoists simultaneously, which meant their understanding of the world surpassed that of Wan Zhongling's era. Furthermore, what Wan Zhongling called the Saint Spirit realm was simply the step taken after achieving eternity. This step was extremely difficult and not tolerated by the world. In all history, only a handful had ever taken it. Even taking half a step, as Lin Moyu had, was incredibly rare. However, Lin Moyu felt his world was still young. Given another 100 million years, more people would surely take that step, and the number would only grow. The whole world felt like it was storing up power for a great leap. Events spanning millions or even tens of millions of years were, from the world's perspective, just fleeting moments. For a world, time is measured in hundreds of millions or even billions of years, and only then do great changes occur. After explaining the uses of several treasures, Wan Zhongling finished, and Lin Moyu knew his journey was ending. Still, he had one more question.
Senior, do you know about the myriad marvel steel?
Wan Zhongling replied,
Of course. The myriad marvel steel was crafted by the number one person in the domain, the peak Saint Spirit Wan Miao Supreme. The steel contains all the secret arts of our domain.
Lin Moyu asked.
Why did Wan Miao Supreme create the steel?
Wan Zhongling answered.
According to him, he wanted to gather the power of all secret arts in the domain and break down the barriers between Daos. But it seems he didn't succeed. If he had, perhaps we wouldn't have ended up like this.
Wan Zhongling's remnant soul sighed. Though his realm had been unimaginably high, only a wisp of his soul remained after countless years. Sadly, he was forever trapped here, his memories all in the past. To Lin Moyu, such an existence, persisting for endless years, was rather pitiful. To live, one should live freely. To die, one should die cleanly. He didn't like this kind of lingering existence. Buzz! A bell sounded from nowhere, cutting through space and vibrating through the world, as if someone had plucked the deepest string, making souls tremble. A massive stele appeared in the world, with a phantom standing atop it, the same figure who had spoken Tao truths in the clouds. Wan Zhongling saw the figure inside.
I didn't expect even Wan Miao Supreme to be gone.
The phantom atop the stele was Wan Miao Supreme, not a remnant soul, but a trace of will left in the stele. With his appearance, Lin Moyu knew his time was up. The myriad marvel stele was here to send him away. Lin Moyu bowed to Wan Zhongling.
Thank you for your guidance, Senior. I have gained much, and I will pass on your Tao legacy. Please be at ease.
Wan Zhongling laughed.
I believe in you. Go back, cultivate well, and one day you will surpass me.
Lin Moyu nodded and flew toward the myriad marvel stele. The stele glowed, and an opening appeared, familiar energy rushing out. Lin Moyu bowed respectfully to Wan Miao Supreme, then entered the opening. The stele vanished. Wan Zhongling waved his hand, and the myriad spirits pavilion was shrouded in thick mist, completely hidden. His voice echoed in the mist.
Is he the only hope? I hope he can succeed. But after so long, maybe it doesn't matter anymore.
His voice was full of helplessness and regret, fading away in the fog. Lin Moyu reappeared in the world. The gate closed with a roar, then turned into a stream of light and flew into the distance. After a while, space shattered, and the gate disappeared into the void. Lin Moyu took out the key and saw it was now dim and unusable. He knew he'd have to wait until the gate reappeared before he could use the key to find it again. This could take thousands or even tens of thousands of years. Lin Moyu was in no hurry. He had things to do. Time flowed differently inside the gate. He had no idea how long he'd been gone. He took out the Life Tao crystal and activated it. Saint Heart's voice came from inside.
Fellow Taoist Lin, did you find that guy?
Lin Moyu replied.
He's already gone and won't appear for now. You can rest easy.
Saint Heart sounded puzzled.
Gone?
Lin Moyu explained.
I opened the gate, and he chased me inside. We fought, and in the end, he was sealed inside.
The Soul Eater Emperor came from that gate, and now he was sealed back inside. This was karma. Saint Heart seemed relieved.
If that's so, then all is well.
Lin Moyu asked.
Saint Heart, how many years has it been since we last spoke?
Saint Heart answered without hesitation.
2,768 years. So long.
Lin Moyu was surprised. That meant he'd been inside the gate for over 1,500 years in the real world. Now, There were only 1 to 2,000 years left before the origin continent's world will awaken again. If it awoke early, there might not even be 1,000 years left. Lin Moyu said,
Thank you, Saint Heart. I have things to take care of, so I won't disturb you further.
Saint Heart replied simply,
If you need anything, just call.
Lin Moyu put away the Life Tao crystal and entered the Great Thousand World. Inside, Xiaopeng was in the Chaos region. When Lin Moyu emerged, he sensed heavenly punishment. Xiaopeng was not a creature of this world and wasn't accepted by its laws. Lin Moyu immediately brought Xiaopeng into the Great Thousand World, where the Chaos region was perfect for him to settle down. Seeing Xiaopeng comfortable there, Lin Moyu was at ease. He summoned Fire 3 and flew toward the origin continent. Months later, after more than 1,000 years, he finally returned. The continent was as usual. From outside, Lin Moyu sensed that the world had grown stronger, but there was still some time before it would awaken.
There's still time for me to act. Hopefully, that guy has found a suitable world.
Lin Moyu entered the origin continent and returned to Yuedao City. After greeting Little Mist and the others, he turned and entered the Soul Void. Chapter 40:11. I can't compare to a monster like you. Inside the Soul Void, Lin Moyu once again sensed the will of the world in the origin continent. With the combination of the real and the virtual, he reconfirmed his judgment. The world will was indeed reviving, and there should be about 1,000 years left before it truly awakens. Originally, it should have slumbered for 5,000 years, but at this rate, it would awaken about 1,000 years early, maybe even sooner, though not by much. Lin Moyu couldn't calculate the exact time, with a margin of error of 100 years being normal, so he had to make preparations in advance to leave himself enough time to respond. Entering the Soul Void, Lin Moyu summoned Little Python. But Little Python didn't respond. Following his senses, Lin Moyu found Little Python curled up, wrapped in a strange power, seemingly in a special state of transformation. Lin Moyu felt Little Python was changing, so he didn't disturb him, instead leaving a group of spirit servants to guard him, and took the heaven-covering stone and immortal jade to find the third ancestor. At this moment, the third ancestor was stationed just outside the core of a world. The Tao Lord of this world had already been cleared out by Lin Moyu, and even the world's source core had been scorched by the world-burning fire, leaving it weakened. This greatly increased the odds of successfully occupying the world. This was the previous plan, which also involved seeking out the discernment beast to borrow its secret technique to further boost the success rate and ensure nothing went wrong. But after the journey through the gate and obtaining the myriad spirit's secret art, the plan had changed. Along the way, Lin Moyu repeatedly verified the feasibility of his new plan and, after confirming there were no problems, decided to proceed. The new plan didn't require the discernment beast and was even safer, with an almost 100% success rate, though it had one drawback. When Lin Moyu arrived, the third ancestor smiled.
Kid Lin, I thought you weren't coming back.
Clearly, he'd been anxious, with time running short and Lin Moyu seemingly making no progress. Lin Moyu replied,
Just hope for the best.
The third ancestor asked,
So, did everything go smoothly?
He didn't really need to ask, seeing Lin Moyu's demeanor. He already knew the answer. There were no problems. Lin Moyu joked.
Not bad. Our plan needs a little adjustment.
The third ancestor grunted.
That's normal. So, did you not get the heaven-covering stone, or did you get something even better?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
Neither. I got a set of secret arts. With these, the odds are even better, and you can keep being yourself.
In the original plan, after becoming the master of a world, the third ancestor would have to change identity. His soul would remain, but his old body would be gone, replaced by an entire world. Fortunately, these cultivators didn't care much about their bodies, only about cultivation, realm, and being alive. But with the myriad spirit's secret art, the body could be preserved, the third ancestor could remain himself, and the world could still be controlled stronger than before. The third ancestor wasn't surprised by the change.
Tell me, what are the pros and cons of the new plan?
Lin Moyu smiled.
The advantage is simple: you keep your old body, nothing changes, And you even get a new subordinate, who might be stronger than you. The downside is your recovery period will be long, maybe 1,000,000 years. During that time, you'll have to behave, or you might get yourself killed.
At first, the third ancestor listened seriously, but as Lin Moyu went on, he realized he was being teased. He couldn't help but laugh and curse.
Brat, when have I ever caused trouble? You think everyone's like you, stirring up trouble wherever you go?
Lin Moyu sighed.
Yeah, that's my specialty. Trouble follows me everywhere.
The third ancestor said,
Let's go with the new plan. After all these years with this body, I'd hate to change it now.
Lin Moyu replied,
Since you've decided, let's get started. I'll explain the steps, you just follow along.
He didn't give the myriad spirit's secret art to the third ancestor. Even with his abilities, it would take at least 100,000 years to fully comprehend. Even Lin Moyu himself would need thousands or tens of thousands of years. He only managed to master 70 or 80% thanks to listening to the pavilion's Tao lecture. Moreover, the myriad spirit's art had a benefit. The spirit nurturing and spirit seizing techniques could be performed by someone else. Of course, it was best if the user understood it, but even so, it would take the third ancestor at least 30 or 50,000 years to learn, and there wasn't enough time. So Lin Moyu would perform the spirit nurturing technique himself. But before that, the third ancestor had to
die.
Once, Lin Moyu took out the heaven-covering stone and immortal jade.
Split off 1/3 of your soul and attach it to the heaven-covering stone, then refine the immortal jade and merge it with the rest of your soul.
Even though the third ancestor was prepared, he still frowned. 1/3 of the soul was a lot normally. Even for a clone, only a tiny wisp was used, less than a 10,000th. If such a clone died, it was nothing. But if 1/3 of the soul was killed, the remaining 2/3 would likely die as well. But that was exactly what Lin Moyu wanted, to make the third ancestor truly die once, so the world would believe he was really dead and erase his soul imprint from the origin continent. The soul imprint was a mark of birth and cultivation in the origin continent, allowing smooth cultivation and enlightenment, but also letting the world will control life and death. Fortunately, the world will didn't directly control the soul imprint. Whether it existed was governed by certain world rules. The heaven-covering stone would fool those rules, and the immortal jade would ensure the third ancestor could come back to life after truly dying. The third ancestor was decisive.
1/3 it is.
Lin Moyu handed him the heaven-covering stone and immortal jade.
Begin.
The third ancestor gritted his teeth and split his soul, one part large, one part small, like being torn apart. The pain was intense. Ordinary people couldn't bear it, except someone like Lin Moyu, who was used to dying. Lin Moyu muttered,
Is it really that painful?
Both of the third ancestor's souls yelled,
Of course it is. Try it yourself.
Lin Moyu didn't care. His soul exploded on the spot, splitting into countless pieces.
Doesn't feel like anything to me.
The third ancestor was speechless.
I can't compare to a monster like you.
The two soul fragments refined the immortal jade and heaven-covering stone. The immortal jade turned into a droplet, merging into the third ancestor's soul, giving him a sense of something new, though he couldn't quite feel it. In Lin Moyu's eyes, the third ancestor's aura changed, becoming hazy and hard to discern. The immortal jade's power now wrapped the third ancestor, granting him a chance at resurrection. After refining, the heaven-covering stone took on the third ancestor's form, same aura, appearance, and realm, even though it was only 1/3 of his soul. Chapter 40:12. Successfully breaking free. The third ancestor looked at the soul he had just split off, feeling something quite strange, so much so that he forgot about the constant, overwhelming pain.
This heaven-covering stone is truly miraculous.
Even he couldn't tell which was the real him. He even had the illusion that the doppelganger created by the heaven-covering stone was the true self, and he himself had become the copy. Lin Moyu explained,
That's exactly the function of the heaven-covering stone, to obscure the workings of fate. Now, the laws of the world will recognize that doppelganger as you.
Lin Moyu continued,
So, are you going to self-destruct, or should I kill you?
The next step was death for the doppelganger. The third ancestor could choose to self-destruct or be killed by someone else. But self-destruction takes courage even with a firm Tao heart. It could harm one's resolve to do it for no reason. Lin Moyu, on the other hand, was used to self-destruction. He'd done it so many times it was routine. The third ancestor thought for a moment.
You do it. I can't handle self-destruction.
Lin Moyu nodded.
All right, I'll make it quick for you.
His origin aura surged as his cultivation soared. If he promised a swift end, he would deliver. The most painless way was with the great Tao world-ending palm. At his current peak Tao Lord level, the palm's power was more than enough to kill the doppelganger. There was no need to go any higher. The third ancestor braced himself.
Go ahead. Great Tao world-ending palm.
Lin Moyu struck without mercy. The massive Tao imprint swept forth, instantly killing the doppelganger formed by the heaven-covering stone. The third ancestor's death, following the world's laws, was instantly transmitted to the origin continent. The third ancestor's secluded physical body on the origin continent immediately lost all vitality, and a torrential rain swept across the outer Great Tao, leaving everyone with a strong sense of loss. A Tao Lord's fall, the whole world mourns. The origin continent was in an uproar. On the outer Great Tao, countless experts appeared, all with grave expressions. The fall of a Tao Lord was no small matter. Those who had survived the origin cataclysm were especially tense, fearing another invasion. But soon, it became clear there was no invasion, just a Tao Lord's death. They began to speculate. Which Tao Lord had fallen? There were many on the origin continent. One Tao Lord sensed the Tao and identified the fallen.
It's the third ancestor. The third ancestor has fallen.
The news quickly spread across the outer Great Tao and then throughout the origin continent. Members of the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce couldn't believe it. The third ancestor's place of seclusion was secret. No one knew where it was, so there was no way to confirm. But since the news came from a Tao Lord, it was hard to refute. For a time, many in the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce were plunged into grief. The third ancestor was their spiritual pillar. Now that he had fallen, how could they not mourn? In the soul void, Mo He, the Beast Emperor, and Shangguan Wentian all sensed what was happening. They knew Lin Moyu had begun. The world-sealing Tao Lord looked a bit somber, downing all the wine in his jug.
It's finally starting. Life or death, it all depends on this.
With the death of the doppelganger created by the heaven-covering stone, the third ancestor's split-off soul was killed, and this was instantly linked to the main body. The main soul, under the world's laws, also perished. With the soul gone, the immortal jade took effect, glowing softly and transforming the third ancestor's soul into a ball of light. It felt as if a mother was nurturing a child, granting the third ancestor new life. Lin Moyu could sense the third ancestor's soul, which should have dissipated, gathering again. Under the immortal jade's power, it would become whole once more, though weaker for having lost a third. Recovery would take a long time, and since the soul wasn't injured, soul flowers wouldn't help much at best. They could assist a little. The soul's reformation was slow. After a full year, the third ancestor's soul finally recovered. The immortal jade could indeed save a life, but it was clearly subject to certain rules and wasn't as quick as one might hope. Moreover, during the rebirth process, the third ancestor was completely defenseless. If anyone attacked at that moment, he would surely die. Perhaps this was the immortal jade's flaw. A year later, the light faded and the third ancestor reappeared. His soul aura was very weak, barely clinging to the Tao Lord realm. Lin Moyu smiled.
How do you feel?
The third ancestor, weak but excited, replied.
So this is what freedom feels like.
His true spirit imprint had vanished from the world, and he was truly free, no longer bound by anyone. Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
How's your soul world?
The third ancestor replied.
It's on its way, should be here soon. Then wait.
3 days later, the third ancestor's soul world emerged from the chaotic mist, entering this unfamiliar world and arriving before them. With the soul world detached from the origin continent, Lin Moyu's plan was now mostly complete. The third ancestor could now live freely, no longer needing to occupy a new world. But without a world's support or a Tao, he was only nominally a Tao lord, much weaker than a true one. If he encountered a powerful enemy, he would be in danger. Lin Moyu said,
"The next step is for your body to leave the origin continent as soon as possible. Right now, everyone thinks you're dead, so you can use that to your advantage."
The third ancestor nodded, his soul returning to his soul world. His body on the origin continent immediately awakened. As a native of the continent, even after breaking free, his body still carried lingering traces of its aura, which would soon fade. When it was gone, the continent would treat him as an outsider or even an invader. The third ancestor burst out of his secluded chamber and soared into the sky, appearing on the outer Great Tao and looking down at the origin continent. His sudden appearance shocked the many experts there.
"The third ancestor isn't dead. Oh no, the third ancestor's alive. Someone's in trouble now. This is going to be good."
The third ancestor's face was grim, seeing that in the year since his
death,
the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce he founded had been bullied by many forces and that many members were injured and gloomy. He said nothing, but took out a magic treasure. An 8-sided pagoda, each corner hung with a drop of blood, 8 levels in all, for a total of 64 drops. The third ancestor snorted coldly.
"Bloodline vengeance."
64 drops of blood flew from the pagoda, landing on the most seriously injured members of the Chamber of Commerce. Then, lines of blood shot out from these wounded, pointing at others. Chapter 40:13. Establishing authority and nurturing a world spirit. The bloodlines pointed directly to the culprits, and the third ancestor showed no mercy, unleashing thunderous punishment from the outer Great Tao. His Tao Lord level power erupted fully and fell with overwhelming force, not only killing the perpetrators but also annihilating the forces behind them on the spot. The third ancestor acted with iron resolve, leaving no one who had bullied the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce unpunished. In the process, many innocents were caught up as well, but the third ancestor showed no joy or sorrow. As a Tao Lord, he only cared about those he valued. To him, billions of lives were like ants, not worth his attention. What's more, he was no longer a native of the origin continent and cared even less about the consequences.
So ruthless.
Many powerful figures on the outer Great Tao witnessed this and only now realized that the third ancestor, as a Tao Lord and Supreme Being, would never reason with ants. The third ancestor's ruthlessness was on full display. In the blink of an eye, he killed all those who had bullied the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce and showed no sign of stopping. The octagonal pagoda in his hand grew ever brighter as he shouted,
"Trace to the source."
In an instant, the bloodlines flew back from the origin continent, heading deep into the outer Great Tao. The third ancestor wasn't just killing those who bullied the Chamber of Commerce. He was going after the forces behind them as well. After all, without those backers, the small fry would never have dared to act. If he was going to establish authority, he would do it thoroughly. Even after leaving, no one would dare make a move again. The third ancestor traced the source and fought his way deep into the outer Great Tao, igniting a fierce battle. His Tao Lord might was on full display, and the battle raged for 2 days, leaving rivers of blood and wiping out several mid-sized factions. With his actions, the third ancestor made it clear, mess with him and he'd wipe you out.
"Whoever dares to touch the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce, this is your fate."
His voice echoed across the outer Great Tao and the origin continent, lingering for a long time. Many who had been plotting now fell silent, too frightened to act. The third ancestor left in style, but whether he had truly gone, how far, or when he'd return, no one dared guess. At least now, everyone knew the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce was untouchable, backed by a fiercely protective and unreasonable Tao Lord. The third ancestor left the origin continent and returned to the Soul Void. The plan was now 2/3 complete, with only the final step remaining. Lin Moyu sensed the lingering killing intent on the third ancestor.
"Those guys must have thought you were dead, so they got bold, right?"
The third ancestor snorted.
"That's why I killed a bunch this time, to establish authority." Lin Moyu asked. How long will that authority last?
The third ancestor shook his head.
No idea. However long it lasts, it lasts.
He was quite carefree about it. Lin Moyu said,
If I go back, I'll help keep an eye on things for you.
The third ancestor replied,
Of course you will. Even if not for me, you have to do it for Feng Yao.
Lin Moyu smiled and nodded.
All right, give me a strand of your soul.
The third ancestor cried out.
Again with the soul?
Lin Moyu asked.
Is there a problem?
The third ancestor shook his head.
No, just a reflex.
He handed over a strand of soul, and Lin Moyu sent it into the core of the chosen world. Then, forming a complex series of hand seals, he called out,
Nurture spirit.
A strange power shot from Lin Moyu's hands into the world's core, wrapping the third ancestor's soul and sending it ever deeper, right to the very heart. Lin Moyu used his own soul power to stabilize the world core. This was no small feat. He was nurturing a world spirit or world will, and this world will would be controlled by the third ancestor. The first step was to implant the third ancestor's soul within it. As Lin Moyu continued the nurturing spirit art, the third ancestor asked,
How long will this take? It depends on the world and the realm. 10 days to half a month, probably.
Lin Moyu replied. It was his first time using it, so he couldn't be sure. 12 days later, both heard a sound, like a heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. The heartbeat grew clearer, coming from the world core. The third ancestor exclaimed in delight.
I've established a connection with the world core.
Lin Moyu nodded.
It went more smoothly than expected. You've been infusing your power into it for years, so your aura was already present, making things easier. The world will is starting to form. It'll take a long time, but you can recover here in the meantime. I have a spirit control art here. It will let you control the world will.
Lin Moyu gave the technique to the third ancestor. It was relatively simple. One could master it in 10 or 20,000 years. The third ancestor also needed to bond with this world, as he needed a new anchor after leaving the origin continent. He would now become the world's master. Lin Moyu clapped his hands.
All right, I'm off to the next one.
The third ancestor was in good spirits.
I bet the others are getting impatient.
Lin Moyu replied.
They'll just have to wait their turn.
With that, he left to find Shangguan Wentian, then Shinchan Emohe and the Beast Emperor. Once they were done, only the world's sealing Dao Lord and Antares would remain. Lin Moyu figured Antares would be the trickiest. He was a dragon, cultivating the Yang Dragon Great Dao, and there weren't many dragon worlds. If he really couldn't find one, Lin Moyu had a backup plan. He'd let Antares settle in the Great Thousand World and slowly build a suitable world there. 3 days later, Lin Moyu arrived at the world chosen by Shangguan Wentian. He'd already made preparations, and Shangguan's situation was much like the third ancestor's. Seeing Lin Moyu, Shangguan immediately said,
Looks like things went smoothly with the third ancestor.
Lin Moyu knew he must have sensed the third ancestor's
death,
and guessed everything had gone well. He smiled.
The plan changed a bit, but it's even better now.
Shangguan's eyes lit up.
Tell me the details.
Lin Moyu explained the new plan in detail, now more experienced after the third ancestor's case. Shangguan trusted him completely and, after hearing the plan, immediately said,
Give me the heaven-covering stone and immortal jade. I'll split my soul right away.
Without hesitation, Shangguan followed Lin Moyu's method, splitting his soul. Even as he cried out in pain, he couldn't help but shout with joy. Freedom was near, and he was thrilled.